This upcoming season, we kind of have our standard schedule. And we're going to Arizona, playing GCU. We got Long Beach. We got Cal State Northridge. So a lot of big D1s that are already in the top 25 on the ABCA poll. We got a couple D2s, and then we'll end in Florida for the Division II championships for the beach side there. I think this year's a little bit unique just because we are indoor and beach at the same time, and with about 60% of our roster is dual athletes, that we're working through some of those growing pains of figuring out, hey, what's the best way to balance this so that it's good for the indoor, good for the beach, and it's not harmful to the athletes as well.
Well, Macie, you had your season cut short last year, and so what does this season kind of mean for you and for the rest of the beach team?
It's just exciting. Like, I'm really glad that we get to play. Like, it was frustrating last year for sure. And I think I've just figured out that time in college playing college sports is very valuable, and I don't want to miss any more. And so, yeah.
David, how do you balance? I mean, we always laugh at this crossover season. This is overlap season for you guys. You kind of knew it was going to happen. I'm guessing you just kind of, look at the schedule and see who's available.
Yeah, we worked around a little bit. I mean, we took the indoor schedule into account and some of the pods and tried to plan things. So we didn't have indoor and beach on the same weekend, and assuming none of our reschedules, if there's a COVID conflict, our season stays the same. We won't have any of those, and then just kind of picking our weekend. All right, we're a little more indoor heavy this week, so some of our dual kids are going to do a little bit more indoor. Hey, we're a little more beach heavy this coming week, so they're going to get more beach practices, and trying to find that balance. I think each week we tweak it a little bit, like, hey, we really like that, or hey, let's tone that back. That we're still in the process of figuring out what works best.
How much are you able to get out right now? I mean, the sand's, I'm guessing, a little hard.
We had a little heat spell, which actually wasn't too bad, so the sand's been pretty good for us the last week and a half. So I think we've got about 10 days outside that have been pretty good in the sand. We've had a few days where we've done some stuff indoors on the hard court just because we had to, but I think one advantage for us is we get to play in a lot of different elements here, so we can embrace this. When we do play somewhere else, when the conditions get adverse, we're used to it, that it's no sweat off our back.
And one of the only things to follow in the off season was recruiting. How has that kind of? You guys have signed a couple people, but I don't know if it's more of a question for the future. Has the recruiting been hurt more, or this year was it any different?
I think honestly it's helped the beach side just because the D1s were pretty much handcuffed in their recruiting, and so we were able to get out and have a lot of looks at some athletes that we didn't get to see before, because right now they're not allowed to talk to any of the D1s. So on the beach side, I think it was actually really helpful for us to be able to pick up some pretty athletic kids, and we got a good beach core coming in next year that if we were to experience another overlap, we have a lot more beach only to help with that.
You have Utah scheduled to come here and play. From a coaching perspective and then as a player perspective, how big is that and how exciting is that to have, a home advantage for them?
I think it's really big. I mean, I think it's finally nice that CMU's got a name out there, that Utah's willing to come play us, that there's a lot of schools, and we ask them to do that. There's like, you can come to us, but we're not traveling to you. But now that we've developed our program a little bit, Utah wants to kind of make this a regular thing, that we do some homes here and away there, that they like the level of competition that we're bringing, that it's good for this side of the area as far as not just a California or East Coast, that all right, we got some middle state teams playing some beach volleyball.
Yeah, I think it's just fun because a lot of the times people are like, oh, beach volleyball, that's an actual varsity sport at Colorado Mesa, and we're like, yeah, it is. And so because we don't ever play here, so it's exciting to be able to have a home match, and people will be like, oh, okay, so they're competing with D1s. Oh, okay, they're actually here to play, and they're a varsity sport, and so that's exciting.
Uniforms and everything.
Yep.
How big is it? I mean, playing so many D1 teams, how does that kind of help you guys improve? And I mean, every week you're going. I mean, you will get some heavy hitters.
Yeah, I think it's a great experience just because in my experience playing sports throughout my whole life, it's hard when you play teams that are below your level. And so for us, we always are playing teams that are either at our level or above our level. So it's really beneficial for us. And I think we learn a lot of new skills from these D1 teams that are crazy good. And it's really fun to compete with them. It's fun to see what they can do and try to copy them. and learn from them.
Do you tend to see a drop off like from those D1 teams, and then when you go maybe to like the championships and you're consistently playing D2 teams, is that skill level different, or do you feel like it's kind of the same?
I think it depends on what team we're playing, because like the team that won not last year, but the year before in Florida was super dynamic and they were super good, and I would actually say they would have a pretty good chance at some of the top 10 teams in D1, and it's just fun that we get to go out and play those teams. But there's definitely some drop off, but not a whole lot. I mean, I feel like beach volleyball is still super new. Everyone is still at the same level, besides some top teams having girls that are 6'6" and super, super strong and dynamic, compared to some of the smaller schools where the girls are just smaller and just don't have that height advantage or jump advantage as some of those higher skilled girls have.
Question of the week. What restaurant that's not already in town do you wish was in town?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Cheesecake Factory, hands down.
Have that ready.
I don't know. I love all the restaurants in town. I guess like a Panda Express, honestly.